I was born and raised in exile. That is what I keep telling myself, because I do not have a home. What then would I say if I was in prison, in a land that is not my own? When the war in northern Uganda started, I was but a child and living in exile already, as a result of the Amin regime that displaced my parents. That was my home. That was where my father came from. Korn did not discriminate. He did not care if you were a child of the soil or not. As long as you were not marching behind him, there was no reason for you to be breathing. Ben tells me about the time that he was arrested. He said, "The biggest mistake I made was thinking that these were my friends and they would stand by me. They turned and stabbed me in the back, saying that I was a sole shooter in the drive-by shooting." The prosecutor called Ben an African savage. That is what we call Korn and his band of rebels. Savages. How can a sane man cut down innocent people? A people that he calls his kinsmen. He made the people go into camps. That is a prison sentence. How does a grown man be locked up in a 6x6 cell for 23 hours a day? Every day of the week, all the weeks in a month, all the months in a year. It has been 6 years since I met Ben again. He writes me as often as he possibly can. I was just 6 years old, but even then, all I saw was a man that I wanted to be my husband. He was my first love. The war in northern Uganda has come to a halt. The people have left the camps and gone back to their villages. The people in my village can finally grow their own crops and live on their own land. They can now raise a family in a proper way. Ben and I want to have children someday. Will Ben ever be a free man? Will he ever walk outside the prison gates that he has called home for the past 26 years? I cannot claim the land that belongs to my father because I'm a woman. Even if I was a man, the elders who know the demarcations have died. Now everyone is just grabbing land. Ben's father died and he could not bury him. His mother died too. She was in America, the land of the free and the home of the brave. She was a brave woman and she fought for her son till her dying day. She called America her home. I wonder what Ben calls it. Some people may call me crazy because at some point in my life, I was madly in love with a man in prison. A man who is serving 3 consecutive life sentences. Like any couple, we have our fights. And then we bury the hatchet and move on. Silence does not always mean that the guns have stopped shooting. There are still the scars that the gun made. How does a man go back to his farm after 20 years in war? How does a man come back to farm his land after 26 years in a prison cell? If the man will not, then the woman must. She is now the head of the household. A lot of water has passed under the bridge. I have asked Ben to set me free. I love him and I think that he is special, but I cannot be held prisoner. Maybe someday the guns will stop shooting and he will come home and till the land. Maybe that day we will have a place to call home.